Hi, it's Greg Allen and Kirk Neal here today from Response Fire and Electrical, and we're going to talk about a common question that we're asked: how do I identify if I have RCDs and smoke alarms for my rental or the property that I'm selling? Now, what is an RCD and why do we need one, Kirk?
Okay, so an RCD is a safety switch that protects you from electrocution.
Okay, and so how do we identify an RCD over all of those other switches and fuses in the switchboard?
Alright, I've got a dummy switchboard here. I'll just take you through a standard setup. So what we're looking for with an RCD is a test button. Okay, so if you have a look at this breaker here, what we've got, a large test button up the top. Right, that's an indication that that particular component is an RCD. Now there's different brands, makes and models, and the test button is in different locations on all of them, which can make it a little difficult. If we move down to this one, this guy has a little test button down the bottom here. Also an RCD, but it's a combination RCD and circuit breaker. So when the toggle's off, that's often difficult to find, so it's always good to have a hunt around and have a good look. The last one down here is also an RCD, and it's a combination as well. This test button is up the top here. So as you can see, they're all the same brand, and yet they're all in a different spot. So it's it pays to have a good look and be sure. The safest way is if you find a test button, then it's guaranteed to be an RCD.
Yeah. Okay, and you might have a black panel switchboard in your house with fuses, ceramic fuses in there. Just don't be confused with all those extra different switches. If it's got a test button, that's going to be an RCD.
Okay, Greg, what about smoke detectors?
Yeah, so smoke detectors are the other thing that you're going to need for your rental or the property that you're selling, and they're going to need to be compliant. So what we need is a hardwired smoke detector, 240 volts going to it. And what we can identify this with is on the ceiling of the smoke detector, you'll see a little LED light which will be green. So you know that's a 240 volt smoke detector and it has power to it. So another thing you want to check is that it's not expired. So if you lift down the flap as if you were going to change the battery in it, you have a little sticker here and it says replaced by whatever year it is. So just make sure it's less than 10 years old, or if it says replaced by 2014, we're going to have to replace that when we come out to have a look at it. Now, you're going to have another type of smoke detector, and this one here is a 10-year lithium smoke detector. And the places that we're allowed to use these are on a slab ceiling, where we can't access the cabling system, and it might also be somewhere where it's just not practical to lift up the roof to get to the cabling system. So we can install these ones here. These also have an expiry date, so just want to check that, and make sure you replace your batteries in your hardwired smoke detectors at least once a year, because you want to make sure that that backup battery works if your power's cut out and there's a fire. And the purpose of those smoke detectors is to wake you up if there's a fire, and remember to stop, drop and roll if you're on fire, because you don't want to stay on fire for obvious reasons. There's a couple of scenarios with how many you're going to need in your house as well. And so if you've got a common hallway which connects your bedrooms, you could probably get away with one smoke detector in there. Best to check with your electrician. And the other scenario you might have is you walk in the front door and you've got a bedroom on the right, and then you've got like a living space in between other bedrooms. So you might have bedroom at the front, kitchen and living room in the middle, and then 3 bedrooms at the back in a common hallway. So we're going to need 2 smoke detectors there, one at the front and one at the common hallway. And then the other scenario is on every floor of a multi-story building. And that pretty much concludes how to identify and find if you've got RCDs and smoke alarms. Have a good day.